Welcome. So now we are trying to study this section, that is also a subtopic under the section 10.3, refraction through a glass slab. Till now we know that glass is an optical medium. It have an refractive index and its value is 1.5 approximately. So if the light enters from the air to glass slab, it will bend according to that, and the glass slab is a denser medium, okay, than that of the air. So at first we try to understand what is glass slab. If we are able to understand what is glass slab, what is the geometry of the glass slab, then it will help us to understood the refraction of light through a glass slab. So what is glass slab? Glass slab is this type of substance. Okay, so just see here, this type of glass slab is called rectangular glass slab. This is a rectangular glass slab. How many surfaces are there? Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are 6 surfaces, and all these 6 surfaces are rectangular. Okay, if I take a section perpendicular to that of the faces, just like this, okay, if I take a section perpendicular to that of this, then this section can be called as the principal section of the glass slab. After that, if I want to represent a glass slab, we will just draw the principal section. So it is a glass slab. This principal section representing this glass slab. We can name this thing, that is P, Q, R, S. We can name this thing. One thing we should notice here, all these opposite refracting surfaces, we can say these are the interface. If I say it is air, then it is glass, and it is also air. So light is refracting from air to glass, then glass to air. So PQ is a interface, RS is a interface. Okay, so at these two interfaces the refraction will occur. Okay, so if I consider it is a light ray, it strikes this interface, let A, B. This is a light ray, this strikes this interface at the interface PQ at the point B. Then we can draw a normal. It is I1. Let us consider angle of incidence for the first surface PQ. Since the glass is denser medium than that of air, okay, if the glass is the denser medium than that of the air, so the light ray after refraction will be bent away from the normal. If you are continuing this vector lecture series, then video lecture series, then you know that what is the cause behind this? What is the cause behind the why the light ray will bend away from the normal, just like this? Okay, let's see is the point of incidence here. On which interface? RS is the interface. Now the light ray try to refract from the denser medium to rarer medium, from glass to air. Here also I have to draw a normal at the point C. Let us consider it is N1, N1 dash, it is N2 and N2 dash. Okay. So obviously, since it is refracting from the denser medium to rarer medium, so the light ray will bend towards the normal. Okay, the light ray will bend towards the normal. Now I try to see an interesting fact, and we will try to prove it mathematically. It is I1, we can consider this is as theta 1, the angle of refraction for the first surface. Let us consider this is theta 2 and this is I2. Here it is called the angle of incidence, it is called the angle of emergence. I1 is called the angle of incidence and I2 is called the angle of emergence. Okay. So there are two refractions. If we write down the refraction for the two surfaces, then for the surface PQ, if I consider the refractive index of the air is 1, refractive index of glass is mu g, and refractive index of air again it is 1, then the second law of refraction allows us 1 into sin I1 equal to mu g into sin theta 1. Okay, this is for the first interface refraction. For the interface RS, mu g into sin theta 2 equal to 1 into sin I2. Okay. Now just think the geometry of the figure. N1 B N prime, it is normal to PQ. N2 C N2 prime, it is normal to RS. PQ and RS are parallel. If PQ and RS are parallel, then N1 B N prime and N2 C N2 prime, these two are also parallel. So let me write N1 prime parallel to that of the N2 prime. Okay. So from here, if I consider BC is the transversal, if we consider BC is the transversal, then theta 1 and theta 2 are equal, because theta 1 and theta 2 are alternate angles. So we can say theta 1 equal to theta 2. If theta 1 equal to theta 2, then we can say sin theta 1 equal to sin theta 2. Now from here, from this expression, we can say this as equation number 1 and this as equation number 2. So from this expression sin theta 1, what is sin theta 1? Sin theta 1 equal to sin I1 by mu g. I can write it here, sin I1 divided by mu g. From this sin theta 2 equal to sin I2 divided by mu g. So it is sin I2 divided by mu g. So obviously this mu g and mu g cancels out. So what these things actually gives, sin I1 equal to sin I2. So I1 equal to I2. What is I1? I1 is the angle of incidence. What is I2? I2 is the angle of emergence. So the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence are equal. If the light is refracting through a glass slab, then the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence are equal. So if I want to calculate what is the angle of deviation, since the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence is equal, del equal to 0. Okay, so del equal to 0. So the angle of deviation becomes 0, but I want to draw one conclusion, which is the general one. If the refracting surface, that is PQ and RS, are parallel, if the two refracting surfaces are parallel to each other, then the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence are equal. It is need not to be the optical device or the refracting medium that we have considered as named as a glass slab here. It need not to be all the time we take a glass slab. Wherever we, if we obtain two refracting surfaces parallel to each other, we get the angle of incidence and the angle of emergence are equal, and the angle of deviation is 0. So this is a very important conclusion. The next part of the refraction through the glass slab we will see in the next one. Till then, thank you.